Welcome everyone to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. You're at the Law of Attraction Club on the web at theloaclub.com. I'm Mary Beth, and with me is Robin, and he'll be bringing through Tara for us today. This Hangout on Air is our introduction to our theme for the week. We have 3 calls each week for our members. Robin does the Saturday call, I do the Tuesday call, and Rachel does the Thursday call. And sometimes we all 3 get together and take turns channeling for Tara on the same call. It's great fun. There'll be a link on your screen for our subscription page to get invites to our free guest member calls, which we offer about once a month or so. You're welcome to sign up and get those emails so you know when they are, and join us for the extended call with questions and comments. So right now we're going to open up the floor to Robin, who's bringing through Tara. So over to you guys.
Welcome. As always, this discussion is about creating more of what you want in your life. For those of you who are new to the concept of a law of attraction, that can be as simple as putting more attention on the good things you want than on the bad things you don't want, and on choosing feel-good things over things that feel not so good. Then there are those of you who want to know more about it, because you come up with some areas of your life where, despite your seeming best efforts, things aren't working out. To that group, we offer a deeper understanding of the truth about everything, and that's where we'll go today. We had some discussion last week about believing and creating actually being one and the same thing. And as we talked a little about how creating new things can be like choosing to believe the unbelievable, to some of you that sounded like too much of a mental leap. So we'd like to explore that a little here today by talking about reality. Then we'll revisit 2 powerful techniques for changing that reality of yours. And we'll talk a little about what you want to change. We're going to talk about starting with some simple things and working up to creating a new galaxy or 2. Here we go. You've probably many times heard supposedly practical advice statements like the following. You have to face reality. Money doesn't grow on trees. You can only do so much. You have to be prepared to work hard, as in you're going to have to do a lot of things you don't want to do. Well, as you know, we usually say phooey to all of that, but today we're going to suggest a new twist. We're going to suggest that if you'd like to change some of that reality of yours, and you all do, facing reality can be an excellent place to start. But only once you truly understand what reality is. Because once you get it, those words, facing reality, take on a whole new meaning. Let's start here. If you're sitting in that world that's out there external to you, the one you're sharing with everyone else on the planet, it's logical and reasonable that you observe it and learn how it works. You choose strategies for dealing with it, for surviving and thriving within it, and for maximizing your chances of success and abundance and happiness. This is the predominant cultural conversation in this one's world, and yours is probably similar. How to succeed is the big question. Your internet is full of advice on this and that. And the biggest section in your libraries is the how-to section. The news media deals with what's out there, and you react accordingly. In this world, you make decisions for what you think are good reasons. Whenever you're choosing consciously, you always decide for a course of action that will bring you what you perceive as the maximum benefit. Most of your day-to-day, minute-by-minute decisions, of course, are subconscious. And those are all based upon the logical, conscious decisions you made somewhere in that so-called past of yours, and practiced and stored away so that you don't have to spend your conscious CPU cycles making the same decisions over and over again. You decide the way the world is, you choose how to deal with it, and then you go about living life on Earth. You keep abreast, perhaps, of what foods are good for you or for your pets. Perhaps you read the polls about the coming elections and get a feeling for which party is going to be successful. Perhaps you're hoping your sports team will win the championship, and you sit nervously through the big games that are the deciding matches. You order something online and you wonder if you've made a good decision and when it will arrive. You have an outdoor event coming up and you study the weather forecast to see how it's going to turn out. You lose your car keys and you try retracing your steps mentally to see where the hell you could have left them. All of this makes perfect sense in a one-world reality. The problem is, you're not in a one world. It's not even a reality. So let's look at the realm you're really in. Let's see if we can wean you off that invalid concept and give you ways of looking at things that will have you stepping into the truth of who you are. We are not, of course, trying to talk you out of that life you've chosen. You chose it for a reason, and that reason remains. It's just that when you ask us how you can make things better, the best answer we can give you starts from the fundamentals of who you are and why you're here. So let's begin. You're a timeless consciousness. Your intentions formed you out of the collective consciousness of all that is. You have experiences and you make choices. With each new choice, you step into a new version of you and a new version of the context that surrounds you, like a virtual reality. In that virtual reality are the versions of everything and everyone that are a match to those choices you made. It's not a shared one world, it's your world. And there's not a soul in heaven or earth that can assert anything into it that is not a match to your choices. Can you see then that if you are the moment-by-moment creator of your world, it makes no sense at all to be thinking that it's out there and you have to deal with it as it is. You can take all that conventional wisdom, and throw it out the window. There is no world out there but the one you're designing. There are infinite versions of those people in your world, and the ones you intersect with are the versions that match what you've chosen to believe about them. Whether food's all good or bad for you is what you're choosing to believe. Who wins the championship or the election is not decided by anybody but you. Your car keys are where you expect them to be. Let's look at those car keys. And if you can get your mind around this, you'll never think about losing things in quite the same way again. If you're creating your world moment by moment, what does it mean to lose your car keys? It's not like they exist as some solid object somewhere in that ongoing physical world of yours. They will appear where you expect them to be. Maybe here, or over there, or in that pocket. Or if you fear they may be lost forever, then they may never reappear. If retracing your steps helps you believe you'll find them, then retracing your steps is a good idea. Whatever actions you take, it's powerful to acknowledge what's actually going on. Do you want more abundance? Expect it and thereby create it. Money is your creation. Do you want deeper friendships and loving relationships? Expect them and thereby create them. Do you want physical ease and stamina? Expect it and create it. That body you seem to be inhabiting is the one you are choosing to believe things about. Do you want the world to be better in some way? Do you want world peace? Do you want to stop global warming? Well, you are setting the parameters within which your world revolves. Choose to expect it to be different, and that is the version of the virtual reality you will step into. And that is our essential message here today. If you know what's going on, it empowers you. You don't need a reason to choose some belief. It does not need to be supported by what you know of the world, because that's us backwards. What you decide about the world becomes the world. What you decide should be on one basis only. What is it that you want? What is it makes your heart sing? What forgotten dreams do you want to dream again? So now let's talk a little more about stepping into that creative role. And we're going to revisit both our about face process and our letting go process. Both are powerful tools. About face is a great exercise of reminding yourself of the truth about who you are, what beliefs really are, what's real and what's not, and how you can change what you think of as possible and impossible. Letting go is a great process for pivoting away from negativity and launching you into the world you want. So get yourself comfortable and relax, and let's do an about face. In step 1, look straight ahead and just notice what you see. Now, step 2, close your eyes and keep them closed for a bit here if you can, and see those same things ahead of you in your mind's eye, in your imagination. Now we're going to ask you a really big question. Now that your eyes are closed, is that world still out there? And here's a hint. You're creating your virtual reality second by second. The truth of it is, you're not creating it in a visual sense right now. You have an imagined picture of it, and you could describe it if we asked you to. But it's a different version of reality than that visual version, which right at this moment does not exist. Just take a second and acknowledge that. Now, step 3, keeping your eyes closed, do a mental about face and look back at your connection to Source. It extends back from the conscious thinking you, through the subconscious you, back through your higher self, and back through us, right back to all that is. Let yourself feel that connection. Let yourself feel that connectedness. It feels like love. It is love of you by everything and love of everything by you. Good. Now we have the same kind of question. Is that connection real? And here's a hint. You're an always connected extension of the collective consciousness of all that is. At the end of that connection is your source, and you are integral with it. So yes, it's absolutely and literally real. Just take another second or two here and acknowledge that. Experience that connection as real because it's as eternally a part of you as anything can ever be. Without it, you would not exist. Your physical world is a virtual reality and a moment-by-moment creation. But your connection to Source is a timeless, eternal, absolute fact of existence. Now, step 4. Keeping your eyes closed, do another about face back towards that imagined virtual reality you think of as your world. In a minute, you're going to open your eyes. What version of your world are you going to see? What version would you like to see? Does it seem like you have a choice? And if yes, make a choice. And if no, what is it about that old version that seems so persistent and inevitable? And here's another hint. It's what we spoke of last week. It's a habit. It's what you've been practicing over and over and over and over ad infinitum. Now, step 5, and this really is a step. We invite you, when you're ready, to step back into that visual version of your virtual reality by opening your eyes. Think about what version it is. As you open your eyes, think about the fact that you're going back into second-by-second creation mode. Each of these moments is like the frames in a movie. Good. Now, are you starting to get more of a feel for the truth about who you are and what's really going on here? Now let's look at the letting go process. We recommend that you take the time right now to think of an example. Think of some area where you'd like to create differently and follow along here. We're going to do this quite quickly, but we can take some time with this in our longer discussion if you would like to. The essential ingredients are: what's bugging you? Get to the essence of it and the lie that sits beneath it. 2, welcome it in. Bring it into the light and see it for the forlorn creature that it is. It only exists because you've chosen a belief that is not serving you. 3, let it go. Just release it. Banish it. Which is simply you further acknowledging that you have power over it. 4, congratulate yourself. Appreciate yourself. Acknowledge your role in this creative process. 5, now step through that door in your mind into the world where that lie does not exist. Be there. Good. Repeat these processes often. We suggest many times a day. You cannot overdose on these, so let's say 50 times a day. Now, we're sort of kidding about the 50, but we're also sort of not kidding. We encourage you to use these techniques whenever you're feeling like you need a boost. We encourage you to adapt them, make them your own, make them a part of the conscious and subconscious you. If you want to get some new habits of thought, it helps if you practice using tools like this that help you to open up that connection to your true self, your authentic self, and allow you to experience your much wider consciousness. And so we'll close here with a repeat of our essential message. If you know what's going on, it empowers you. As you allow yourself to be more and more aware of your connection to the energy of your source, you also become more aware in a new and ongoing, ever-present way of the power that is yours. That's what is real. Then there's your story, the one you're making up, and in which can be anything. You don't need a reason to choose some belief. It does not need to be supported by what you know of the world, because that's ass backwards. What you decide about the world becomes the world. What you decide should be on one basis only. What is it that you want? What is it that makes your heart sing? What forgotten dreams do you want to dream again? What you choose to believe becomes. As always, we suggest start with some simple things. Then you can work up to creating a new galaxy or two. The better it gets, the better it gets. And now we'll move to our longer discussion, and any questions you might have, or any help you'd like with something persistent that's been bugging you.
This hangout was our introduction to the theme for the week. If you'd like to have invites to our guest member calls where you can come to our longer discussions once a month or so, then see the link on your screen. If you've been on the Hangout Live or you're watching the Hangout recording, as we said, you can get invites to our extended free open calls by becoming a guest member. See the link on your screen. And if you'd like to join us and really get it down deep, you can become a member. There should be a link or a pop-up on your screen for that as well. So now we are going to open up the floor for our longer discussion, more from Tara, and questions and comments from our members. So over to you, Robin and Tara. And members, remember, of course, *6.